Okay, hardware setup. So we've got an interface now, and we've got some mics now. So all we're gonna do is we need some XLR cables. Those are these 3-pin cables. So using those cables, we're gonna plug our microphone into our interface. Then we're gonna plug our interface into our computer. And then, if you're using your interface to play back sound, which I recommend you do, I'm going to plug my speakers into my interface as well. Okay, so my speakers are plugged into the outputs on the interface, outputs 1 and 2, and my microphone is plugged into inputs 1 or inputs 1 and 2, depending on how many microphones I'm using. So then I have to make sure Ableton knows what we're doing. So I'm going to go to Preferences in Live, and I'm going to go to the Audio tab. So, Audio Input Device. You're going to pick your device here. Here it's going to list everything plugged into your computer that is an audio interface. So for me it says the Quartet. That's my Apogee Quartet audio interface. It's also showing me my webcam that I'm using to film this, which has a little microphone in it, so it's showing up here. I definitely don't want to use that to do high-end audio recording. And then my output device. So in most cases, if you plugged in your speakers to your audio interface, you're going to select the same thing again here, Quartet. Now, all the time when I'm actually doing anything in this room, that is how it's set up. The only time it changes is when I'm actually filming a video. So right now I need my audio output to go to this Telestream audio capture so that you can hear Ableton. It gets recorded in this video. But in most cases, you want these two things to be the same, your input and output device. Cool? Then let's go to input configuration and turn on the channels that you're going to need to use. If your device has two inputs, turn on 1 and 2, and turn it on for both mono inputs and stereo inputs. If you have 8 inputs, you can do that. Okay, so just turn on the ones that you're going to use. Turn on it doesn't mean you're going to use them right now. It just means that that's what your device is capable of using. So turn them all on, that you have the option to turn on. And then this driver type is the system driver. If you're on a Mac, it's almost always going to be core audio, unless you're doing something really strange. If you're on a PC, I think you get more options here, and I don't remember what the right option is, but it's whatever option displays your audio interface in the second dropdown. So you select something here, and then if your audio interface doesn't show up, select something else to find the right thing. I don't remember what the PC settings are, and it depends on the type of PC, I believe. But on a Mac, it's always core audio. Okay, that takes us down to our other issues here. Let's talk about sampling rate really quick, and then we'll do a separate video for latency. Sampling rate. What sampling rate do you want to record at? The standard for digital audio is 44,100. That means 44,100 samples per second. A sample in this case is like a tiny snapshot of the sound. If you listen to a CD, it's 44.1. 44,100 samples per second. You can go higher than that, and that does some different stuff to your audio. It basically makes it higher quality. It's a little more complicated than that, but for lack of a deeper explanation, the higher the sampling rate, the higher the quality. So 48,000, recording at 48,000 is becoming pretty standard. So that's where I set my sampling rate. That's where I like it. So that's where I leave it. You can go all the way up to 88,200. But that's going to make huge files all the time. And it's a bit unnecessary unless you're recording something like a full orchestra. Then you want real high fidelity. You might record it up that high. But for general day-to-day stuff, rock stuff, pop stuff, anything other than classical music, I like 48,000. Okay, let's go to a new video and let's talk about this latency issue, because this is a big issue.